Greetings, peace be with you. In this video, I want to talk about the dark side of semen retention, right? I made so many different videos on the benefits, on how it uplevels your creativity, your ability to express yourself as the most capable version of yourself, how it elevates every aspect of your being, of your mind, your body, your spirit, your emotions, right? But what is the dark side, right? Now, the dark is not bad. That's the first thing that took me a long time to understand, right? Because the more that I avoided the dark, the more that I avoided my own shadow, the more it was being projected out, right? But when I looked my shadow straight in my eyes, began developing empathy and compassion for it, that is when I could begin to express myself more completely, right? You are a light being, yes, but you're not only light, because light cannot exist without dark, right? If light was the only thing that there was, then it wouldn't be light. Just like the fish in water doesn't know it's in water, right? So the darkness creates the light and the light creates the shadow. And semen retention is something that really opened my awareness around this stuff as well, because it exposed me to my own shadow, right? Because of course there are different levels of this journey, and I'll link out to a video on the different levels of the semen retention journey. But when I was at the level of retaining my life force, avoiding all contact with women, just not having an awareness of sexual energy, or what the true purpose was, of being stuck in the paradigm of thinking that there's something to get from this world, of thinking that I'm not enough and that I need to get something and get some validation, of carrying these emotional wounds inside of me that I was trying to fill through material gains, and that never works out. That's a hedonic treadmill. That's a time when I was exposed to my shadow, right? And that's the thing, man. Like, once we realize that the fullest expression of who we are is a combination of our shadow and our self, right? So what's the dark side of semen retention? So, I've been making videos on this for a while. I've been seeing a lot of comments of people writing as well, and they're like, some people who are in a spiral whereby, doing semen retention is one thing, but the intentions behind why you do the retention is a whole different animal, right? It's not what you do, right? It's why you do it at the end of the day. Like, two people can do the same thing. They can have the same sales script and they can call prospects, and one can be closing them and one can be not. Two people can have the same pickup lines. They can talk to the same girl. It doesn't matter what they say. It's how they say it, why they say it, right? The intention behind it. So when my intention behind semen retention was that of trying to get something, again, I made another video on this as well. When my intention behind semen retention was to get wealthy, to get a better body, to attract more girls, to get better skin, it was all re-emphasizing the thought pattern of not enoughness, right? Because every time that I seeked out getting something from outside of me, through whatever it is that I did, whether it was semen retention, whether it was buying new clothes, whether it was projecting myself in a certain way to get approval, like, at the end of the day, anytime I did that, right, understand that every action is a vote for the type of person that you are becoming. You are not a human being, you are a human becoming, and every single moment is a moment of your becoming. And I was becoming the type of person that was not enough, right? Again, anytime I would fill or attempt to fill the emotional wounds that I had inside from material possessions on the outside, whether it was validation, whether it was anything that was not me, right? I was re-emphasizing the reality that I'm not enough, that I need something outside of me to feel like I'm enough so that I can feel better about myself. But the more I did that, the deeper that hole got, right? But the moment that I realized that I am all that I will ever have, I am all that I will ever need, then that void got filled from the inside, which is the only way that I can, right? The door to success opens from the inside, right? And once we realize that, we can really integrate the dark side into this, right? And I like Tom Bilyeu's way of dealing with this. He says that 80% of his time he engages in the goodness, in the beauty, in the bliss, in the wonder, in the love, in the joy, in the happiness, in the beautiful world that we live in, right? 80% of the time he engages in that, and 20% of the time he actually engages in the dark side, right? And this is an aspect that high performers have had in common, as revealed by I forgot the name of the author. He wrote a book called Relentless. He was the coach of Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan as well. It'll come to Tim Grover, I think his name is, right? He wrote this book. Definitely check it out if you haven't. It just reminds me to go over my notes as well. But he reveals that tapping into this dark force and this dark energy, right, is what allowed the higher performers to really reach the peak of their performance, right? Because the whole of you is a combination of your dark and your light. And I was faced with my shadow when I was trying to suppress the darkness, right? And the reality is I was carrying a lot of emotional baggage associated with sexuality in my life, a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, just through the culture that I was brought up in and just the experiences that I had at the time that were leading me to come up with conclusions that were hindering my own self-image and self-respect, right? And the more I tried to suppress that shadow, the more it began to express itself in ways that were not serving me, right? The shadow is there, right? Because the light is there. But is that shadow integrated? Is it working harmoniously with the light to create this beautiful image? Or is it being suppressed? Is it being repressed? Which I think a large part of society encourages us to do, right? Oh, how are you doing? Oh, I'm good. Even though you feel like shit. Or just like don't talk about anything negative, just keep it in the backdrop. And we see people who apparently on the surface of things seem all good and well, right? Everything is going well, their life's going well according to these material standards that we use to measure whether life is going well or not. And then by some mere happenstance they end up taking their own life, right? Why is that the case? Because society conditions us to repress, to suppress our shadow. And when it's not integrated into our light is when it begins to express itself in ways as such that are not serving us, that are not serving anyone, right? So the dark side of semen retention really revealed itself to me when I came into it through the lens of trying to get something from it, coming at it through the lens of thinking that if I did this, then I would get that, rather than understanding the true power of this powerful practice, which is to cultivate my creative energy so that I can give what I'm here to give. Okay, so I hope that you got value from this video. Hope it opened up some awareness to you, and leave a comment below letting me know what has been most useful for you in this video. Like the video if you like it, subscribe if you want to, and with that being said, I will see you in the next video.